Hi, it's Romy, Gemini Soul Family. How are you? Welcome to the channel. This is your October 2021 soul story. So if you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is the reading for you. We are going to give you some clarity. We're going to break the energies down and really try and give you a little bit of a heads up so you feel more empowered and confident as you make your way through the month. And be sure to check out your rising and your moon across the other soul stories just to get a more comprehensive overview of October's energy. So we're opening up with the moon. Now, we have a new moon in Libra this month and a full moon in Aries. So elementally, we're going to be working with air and fire. Now, these are both incredibly supportive for you, Gemini. And this is a month where you're really going to be able to start to connect the dots. And yet what the moon brings through is almost a bit of a veil of confusion as we enter into October. That's not wholly unexpected because we do have Mercury retrograde. Of course, you're a Mercury ruled sign, and when this planet takes a backspin, it does tend to make you feel a little bit more scattered or disorientated in your thoughts. But one of the things I want to invite you to consider, Gemini, is that when you're in certain settings, that particular feeling of confusion or disorientation may be really amplified, and yet when you are where you are meant to be, doing things that nourish you, when you are in conversation or aligning with energies that are supportive for you, what you'll find is that that confusion dissipates. Things feel much more clear for you. And so this is how we can really start to harness where that moon energy might be showing up to kind of challenge you a little bit through that first part of October, Gemini. So it's going to give you a direct understanding of perhaps where there are relationships that need to be up for review, because Libra season, activating that fifth house energy for you, is going to put a firm focus and emphasis around the connections that you have in your life. Now, we also have Venus shifting into Sagittarius on the 7th of the month, which again is your polar opposite mirror house of relationships. And so everything this month is about love. And I don't just mean from a romantic perspective. I mean, when we look at the act of self-love, how we can take care of ourselves, the way we want to take care of our family, of our friends, the way we want to look out for people in the work that we do or the clients that we serve. And, really the mantra for you this month, Gemini, needs to be that everything should come from a place of love, not for love. The sun and the moon here, it's really kind of indicating that night and day feeling that we have. And so it's quite likely that the contrast of different situations, in especially in relation to perhaps some conversations or interactions that you're having with important people in your life or those who are really meaningful for you, is going to be highlighted. I have a feeling that you're going to be having some conversations that are really going to be extraordinary. I think you're going to be thinking, I never thought I would be in this place having this type of interaction at this moment. Now, all relationships have a transactional exchange, and I suppose one of the questions you're really going to be asking yourself is this serving me? Do I feel like I can grow within this relationship? Is there room for me to breathe? Like, do I feel at peace? Do they make me feel like the truest version of myself, strength? So 3 major arcana right off the gate here. Now, your sun suggests to me there's something about, again, coming at things from this place of love, as you would do when you think about connecting to your inner child, taking care of a child, taking care of it's that beautiful, selfless, unconditional love. Now, strength is showing me that there have been instances in connection to specific people where, over a period of time, you've had to learn to be strong. You've had to learn to adapt and to figure out, the right approach, the right way to communicate. And when we hit that new moon in Libra on the 6th of the month, Gemini, we're also going to be welcoming Pluto shifting direct in Capricorn. Now, throughout this month, we have several planets going direct, which means that we have this kind of jolt forward energy. It's almost like a bit of a lurch, and it can be a little bit disorientating. Now, that new moon in Libra is also conjunct with Mars, and it's trining with Ceres. Now, Ceres, the asteroid goddess, is in your sign, Gemini, but she's also going to be taking a backspin on the 8th of the month. Now, The goddess of harvest and nourishment here in your sign means that we are really specifically looking at our sacred soul language. We are trying to nurture our higher mind. And with Pluto shifting direct, that planet of death and transformation, we have to figure out where we are devoting ourselves, whom we are devoting ourselves to. And there's really this opportunity to kind of look at what has gotten under your skin and where you have perhaps abandoned yourself to repeatedly try to find an approach or make something work or force something to be okay. And, that might be in terms of aspects between the relationship within you and you, that you've been doing things and you've been trying to make it work. And there's something about October where I literally see you sat down and going, right, okay, enough is enough. Like, this approach is not working. This relationship is not working. And that's not to say that, there is permanent endings here, Gemini. But what we have is this review time. We have this review with Mercury retrograde, and it has to be done from a place that's coming from love. So you have to be mindful. And this is where it's going to get a little tricky, right? I think this is where your strength card's coming up, because it's really easy when we are affected by certain situations or impacted by relationships. This could be something going on at your work with your boss. It may be something, that's happening within a family dynamic, or, with your lover or your best friend. So when you get hit with those moments of miscommunication and it kind of disconnects you from your center of peace, and then you're sitting in a place of frustration or of doubt, or you're having a wobble or a little bit of anxiety or a little bit of stress or even anger, whatever it is that's surfacing. And remember, this month we've got a full moon in Aries, so there is an intensity, and Pluto is really dominating as well in the early part of the month, and really forcing us to acknowledge where we need to have absolute transformation. So this is like the backdrop. But when we're then sitting in these energies, there's a choice. And, we often are coming to what that next choice is going to be, what our response on an emotional level is, or what we think is right from us. But the problem is we're coming at it sitting in the energy of frustration, sitting in the energy of disappointment, sitting in the energy of being hurt or wounded. And do we ever really get like what the right next step is from that place? We don't really, because that's not really coming from a place of love. That's coming from a place of disconnection. So one of the things I really want you to understand and to take on board through October, Gemini, is that, when this moon energy comes in and it kind of creates this mist around you and you feel it harder to connect with what the true message is, what the real guidance and counsel from your higher self is trying to give to you, just be clear within yourself what your language is saying, because the things that you are saying, Gemini, are changing your life. Hear me, the things that you are saying are changing your life. And are they moving you in the direction that you are meant to be going? So you have the strength energy coming through here, because there's something about remembering where you have overcome situations like this before, remembering who you are, remembering the respect that you've built for yourself, remembering the value that is innately yours, remembering how deserving you are, remembering how loving a being you are, and that you get to feel safe. You get to feel safe in the environments that are important for your own growth. And if there are places and people and experiences that are making you feel the opposite of that, then here's where we really start to want to consider, educate ourselves. Is this right? What adjustment needs to be made? You're going to be questioning things an awful lot, and the Hierophant tells me you're questioning your commitment. Now, you may be questioning things that felt really right or really good to you, and now it's just, okay, is this going to continue to work for me in this way? What do I need to change? Now remember, growth is really all there is, in this soul journey that we're on. And if growth is all there is, it means that there's a constant stretching, a constant expansion, which means that there is ongoing breaking points that need to be acknowledged and moved through. So it is uncomfortable, and the energies are intense right now. So as you consider your commitment to people and to experiences, to places that you've been showing up, and you consider that energy reciprocal exchange that has been taking place, some of the conversations are going to be powerfully illuminating, okay? Now we've got Saturn shifting direct on the 10th of the month. You are meant to be embracing some of the things that you've gone through and where you had to learn some tough lessons, and a lot of that was deep introspective soul work. So when these planets wake up, and remember, we can feel a little bit groggy and disorientated until they get moving again. You are then meant to be demonstrating and starting to see where the floodgates open and the physical expression and manifestation of what you've been experiencing is starting to show up. The Hierophant says we have to take that wisdom and learning, and we now have to apply it. We don't have to keep seeking more and more and more. We actually have to use what we have. We have to use what we know, what we've got, because otherwise you're just stockpiling. Yeah, you're just like, it's just like, I need, it's like a grab. It's like, I just need to know more. I need more from you. I need more information. I need more knowledge. But then you just, you squirrel it away, and then you're not turning around to sit with it and say, okay, well, what am I meant to be doing with all of this that I've now, set out to kind of absorb or to, to hold on to? And so your Hierophant's got some really important sage wisdom and advice by way of helping you to actually work with what you have. And what that means is that the energy flow that's going to move through you is going to be much clearer. And that's going to help tremendously in terms of some of the conversations you're going to be having with people, specifically around the idea of commitment. You may in your workplace, need to or be looking for that conversation that says, where do I stand a year from now, 6 months from now? Where is this going for me? What's my future here? And maybe in those personal relationships, you're like, okay, what's going to change? Like, is this moving somewhere that feels good for both of us right now? And you, like I said, you are going to be asking a lot of these questions and really trying to figure out if the transactional exchange that's going on, is working for you. Now, Hierophant also talks about Taurus energy here. So, may well be that earth sign that's important, or even specifically, we're going to be coming out of the eclipse cycle in your sign and moving into the North Node in Taurus. So you're also going to be getting a bit of a heads up as to what the new eclipse cycle is going to be bringing in for you, the type of themes that you're meant to be working with. Eight of Pentacles suggests to me that there is this beautiful art of self-transformation and mastery that you're going to be focused upon, and it feels quiet. This new sacred soul language that you are cultivating and nurturing and beginning to express for yourself, the conversations that you're having. And also, most importantly, Gemini, I think you're going to be stripping things back, stripping away labels. You're more than just the job that you do. You're more than the fears that you have. You're more than, the body that you reside in, the looks that you have, the experiences even. This is about you understanding yourself at a much deeper, more intimate level, and then understanding what you're meant to do with the gifts that you have, with the energy that you've been given to come forth with. And so it is, for me, quite a soulful journey that I see you moving through. The energy is very elementary, complementary to you being able to amplify and see. It's almost like you can get an awful lot done in a short space of time. I do see that there are going to be opportunities to receive some powerful, abundant gifts coming in, especially when Jupiter shifts direct on the 17th of the month. Your vibration has changed in relation to abundance. Your money story has gone through some kind of inner revolution. And you're really going to start to see some opportunities opening up for you. Perhaps specifically on a work front, I do see discussions around new contracts, commitments, or maybe where you might be investing in more learning for yourself to try and advance something in some way. There's certainly some positive validation that's coming back, some recognition that I feel is important. And that might mean that if there's another area of your life that you're feeling isn't advancing as quickly as you would like it to be, and even if you start to see the shoots of things changing, but you're still waiting, perhaps you're still waiting on another person or on something coming in, or, aligning fully before you feel confident to be able to kind of invest yourself wholly, then you've got to look to what it is that is working in your life, or that is giving you that sense of peace and forward motion, because that's going to keep you away from that frustrated stance. I think more than anything, that's what I really want you to take away from your October reading, Gemini, and that's what's going to be most supportive in you feeling empowered and confident. It's like you're going to have to, when you have things that come up that feel very stop-start, or that are not moving in the way that you'd expected or anticipated straight away, you're going to have to be discerning and shift your focus. Now, your King of Swords here is interesting. She's got this needle, isn't she? And, creating something, but conversationally, through your language, through your thought forms. Like I said, the things that you are saying are changing your life. Now, when we step forward in a King of Swords energy, we are accomplished. It's not that we have anything to prove. You're not trying to hustle your way to the top. You're not, coming into something like wet behind the ears with a sense of naivety. This is somebody, from an energy perspective that really understands what is going on, is looking around, and being able to be incredibly objective, and, really bringing something to the table that is of value. What he says, how he says it. Do you want him on your side? Yes, because he's got facts, the scientific evidence to back up what he feels intuitively. And perhaps that's something, one, that we want you to recognize within yourself, that, one of the beautiful aspects of your energy, Gemini, is that you have this beautiful duality. You can, at any given time, like tap into different aspects of yourself and merge them and present yourself in a way that can kind of almost align to lots of different types of energy, lots of different perspectives, if you like. And so kind of bringing your heart and your mind in sort of equal power to conversations, to what you want to say and how you want to say it. It's going to make a huge difference. I need that strength, that spiritual backbone that I feel, because King of Swords, of course, is an air sign, yeah. So it's how we're expressing your energy, Gemini. But it may also be, someone who's stepping forth, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, who you're also kind of observing, witnessing, and seeing, okay, how are they doing it? How are they acting with a sense of certainty? Because the King of Swords does trust in himself. There's no wobble or doubt there. He says, the words with a sense of conviction. And it feels like that's what we need from you this month, like for you to have the courage of your conviction. That's where you're going to find the strength that you need to be able to move away from anyone or anything that's sort of trying to dissuade you, or, suggest that perhaps what you're saying or the approach that you're taking isn't right for you. Everything that Spirit are trying to equip you with over the next few weeks, and as you kind of come out of this year, is to support you in feeling greater degrees of certainty and trust in everything that you believe is right for you. Everything that you believe is right for you. Now, your Three of Pentacles is coming in. I love this energy for you because it's the creative vision. It's the possibility that you see. So where somebody is coming at you and saying it can't be done, where they're saying, look at, how this is unraveling, this is never going to work. And, this may also be coming through in terms of some of those conversations you're having in your relationships. And yet for me here, we've got something to work with. And that's because of the self-mastery and because of the perspective, and because you're allowing yourself to say, you know what, I'm not being defined by any of the experiences I've been through. I'm not being defined by what you think of me or even what I think of myself. If I put myself into this beautiful open space, I can really tap into new solutions here. And there is this energy of October where we are able to start connecting the dots, and new pictures are emerging from it. And, for you, Gemini, I feel In fifth house energy in Libra, it is about being able to tap into, like, what do I feel passionate about? Where is desire for me in this equation? Because when I come at things from a place of love, and I'm prepared to put the work in. Now, that's the other thing I'm going to say really strongly for you here. There's something about October that is asking you to put the work in, Gemini. Now, you have to decide yourself, like, where that investment should be. And you might learn the hard way if you put it in the wrong place, but that's okay, because there's going to be something valuable to come away with at that perspective as well. But as we come up to that full moon in Aries on the 20th of the month, it's making again some difficult oppositions with Pluto. So it's going to be intense, it's going to be fiery. There's revelationary information, but you're also going to be very clear about what matters to you at that point. You're going to know what the priority is for you. That's important, because as we come into Scorpio season, which lights up that sixth house energy of how you are taking care of yourself and the way in which you want to now present yourself out to the world. So that's going to make a big difference for those of you from a work and career perspective, and what you have to share and how you want to share it. You might be making major changes in your messaging, the platforms that you use, the reach that, the audience or the clients that you want to connect with, and even if you're working within a team environment, again, just almost like shifting roles. I feel like there's a change happening there. But all of it at its foundation, you've been prepared to put the work in for yourself to say, well, what's going to balance me out? Where are the places that light me up, and what is draining me? So from the 18th, we're going to come out of Mercury retrograde, and there's probably going to be a requirement for you, Gemini, to go back over conversations that took place in that first part of the month, even into the end of September, because you want to just get that commitment kind of very clear. And again, it's almost giving you the opportunity just to make sure that what you're aligning with and what you're about to set, forth as the new direction, because I do think you're going to come out of October in some aspects with quite a powerful decision on what new direction you want to take in some area of your life. And again, it is impacting on those powerful connections that you've got. The star energy, beautiful, healing, restorative guide coming through. So you now have the sun and the moon and the stars, and there's something deeply poetic and quite magical about that. And, October actually is an incredibly magical month. The veil is at its thinnest as we move towards Samhain and Halloween on the 31st, and messages from the other side, and you really feeling a part of something much bigger than yourself is going to be flooding your senses and really helping you to look at your own energy and start to see yourself differently. Like I said, the conversations that you're going to be having are really, in some aspects, quite mind-blowing, quite out there. They're taking you outside of your comfort zone in many ways. But there's something deeply hopeful about the star energy and the Three of Pentacles, where I see you can get something back on track. You can find a way forward. You can start to understand what is it going to take to be able to really allow this manifestation to come into full fruition this time. Because we're going to be going back over things and then finding a new love for them, a new level of inspiration. And it's that missing piece, together with this connecting the dots and this big powerful movement forward of these planets shifting direct, that are going to start to reveal for you something really powerful. And I see you kind of locking into that, but it's still coming from a place of fluidity. Here's where your mutable energy is going to be super important, because 3 Mercury retrogrades in air signs this year has challenged the way that you think. It really has. It's challenged how you do things, how you absorb information, and the way you want to send information out to the world. And so coming out of that transit, because these Mercury retrogrades do hit you hard, then you're really going to come to a different conclusion about yourself. And this is important. This is not what anybody else is saying about you or recognizing or, trying to project back onto you. The amplification of what you're feeling is coming from somewhere much deeper inside of yourself. That star energy for me also gives you a sense of healing where you need it. So where you've been carrying something, I feel like there's quite an old storyline that we're also breaking apart or breaking down this month. I think you are quite worried about someone or something in your life through the month of October, and perhaps you feel like you can't can't get to it. There isn't access to it in some way, is what I'm feeling. You're a little bit blocked to be able to nurture, to be able to take care, to be able to even feel like you can influence or support somebody in the way that you want to. If you're not careful, again, that can throw you into that frustrated stance. So back to what I said about what is the area in your life where you feel like the energy does feel really safe and peaceful. From that vantage point, you can influence and support those people. And it might just have to be in a different way for this month. It might just come about in a more withdrawn or disconnected perspective, okay? Because there is work for you to do here. You know, how do you get what you want in life? You put the work in. And even if you're coming at it from a place of just energetic work and thought forms, that sometimes takes more commitment than the physical act of something. You know, to wake up every morning and try to hold the vision and not allow negativity or lower vibrational energies to move you off track takes more discipline than anything else. And I do think that there's a firm emphasis around that needing to really be highlighted to you in a way that you understand the impact of it favorably and positively for you when you really take the time to address it. So Nine of Wands, okay. And, you know, there has been some area of your life where you feel like you've been investing for quite some time. And again, because there's such an emphasis around relationships, it may be with a specific person. And you're really at this stage in the game having to go deep and sort of consider, is it worthwhile to continue this? I think you're going to get your answers this month. You're going to get them when you sink more deeply into, like I said, observing all of the things that you've already learned, the tools that you already have, and figuring out what you're supposed to do with them, Gemini. That's going to start to dissipate that moon energy and make things much clearer for you. You got to be aware that you don't burn yourself out. Now, the healing, restorative energy of the stars coming in here. So there's something that's going to be shown to you that says, here's where you get your energy source. This is what it's going to take. But I'm also looking at this from a place of it being like your hopes and dreams, you know, the star energy, the things that really light you up. And you have to keep going. So there's a perseverance energy that comes in always for me with the Nine of Wands. You have some battle scars here. There may have been some disappointments and setbacks. This isn't the time to give up, not to give up on yourself or to the vision that you have, but it is a time to have those important conversations about who or what is supporting that vision for you, or is actually one of the inhibitors for you and depleting you to the point that you keep losing yourself in the process. So here's the Oracle card energies. Let's take a look and see how they want to add to this conversation. Okay, so we have the energy of breathe. Again, this element of air, and she's in this beautiful meditative pose. And that's what I mean. I think the journey this month is just deeply soulful and kind of quiet in a way for you, even though you're going to be extraordinarily busy. And I think you have a lot to say. It's still not coming across as shouty for me. It's just coming across as kind of really just reflective, but you carry weight with what you have to say and how you're saying it and what you're bringing to the party in terms of these relationships. Just make sure you keep giving yourself the opportunity to breathe in between those major events or when those lurches of energy happen, just to recalibrate yourself. So the Moonology card here, New Moon in Leo, confidence is your key to success. Beautiful. Well, the King of Swords is demonstrating a level of capability and aptitude and confidence, and we want you to draw strength from him and then keep going and keep investing in yourself. But of course, remember, Leo energy is about the heart of it. If you don't believe in it, if you don't have passion for it, whether it's a person, you know, an initiative, a project, you know, something that you're trying to do for yourself, if you don't really have heart in it, you're not going to be able to sustain the effort. This is why I'm saying to you, it's got to come from a place of love, not for love. Yeah, there's a difference, because then the nourishment is constantly there for you and you're not sitting waiting for the validation or the energy exchange to happen before you feel whole again or you feel topped up again. New moon in Leo, of course, going back to, a few weeks ago and sort of noticing perhaps what subtle shifts and change took place there is going to also be valuable for you in this month of October. Okay, you have Dharma wheel, karmic lessons, peer pressure, moral codes. When Saturn shifts direct, Jupiter's shifting direct, Pluto's shifting direct, these are important moments, crossroads, where you are meant to kind of really say, what did I learn? What was it that I was, navigating internally to kind of really accept and integrate? And where is that now taking me? There's a beautiful sense of a karmic release taking place, especially around that full moon in Aries, that fire, that intensity. It's kind of like a sacred flame, and it will burn through a lot of things that have felt heavy and difficult. So as you burst into that energy of Scorpio season, you are focused. Mars in Scorpio is also going to give you that instinct and that challenge to be able to take something on that you feel is impossible. You're going to have the wherewithal and the drive, and the knowing of how to kind of keep yourself on target and in check. So that's going to be powerful. There's a tremendous amount of almost like gritty determination that I see coming in toward the end of October for you. So also keep that in mind if you do feel a little bit disconnected in the early part of the month. So Gemini, this is a general reading. Be sure to let me know how it resonates for you. If you'd like to join me for the extended, I'm just going to pull a couple of cards here. So think about a question that might not have come up in the main spread for you just now. Pull a couple of cards for you here. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and clarify this main 9-card spread right now. So we just go into things for about another 20 minutes or so to give you additional messages. Ace of Pentacles coming through here. So once the veil and the fog and the confusion lifts, you're actually looking to be really productive with that. Another moon energy coming through here though. There are things that are hidden that you're not yet aware of that are meant to come to light. Just make sure as well you're not deceiving yourself through the course of this month. It's a time for real honesty. 7 of Wands and the Hanged Man energy coming in here. There's something about things being withheld. This is where I'm getting this sort of frustrated energy, but we've got another sun coming through here. I think it's almost like a redirection. It's like when they make a road closure and you're forced to go on a detour. Wheel of Fortune, you see something unexpected coming from the detour that's really transformative. 4 of Wands. Water energy coming in with that Knight of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Balance coming through there. 10 of Cups and the 8 of Pentacles. Putting the work in is what really delivers for you. Choices and decisions to make with an earth sign perhaps there. And there's your card, Gemini, Lovers. Nice to see that coming through. Another 9 of Wands. There's going to be a lot of weighing things up this month for you, Gemini. You have so many major arcana showing up though, so very fated events that are coming in, from a karmic perspective. You're really hitting that moment in your soul contract where there's going to be some interesting changes. Okay, listen, I'm going to wrap it up there. If you want to join me for the extended version, we're going to go into this in more detail, and you can find the link for that in the description box and the comment section underneath. Be sure to check out your rising and your moon sign across the other soul stories, Gemini, just to get a more comprehensive overview of this month. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to wish you beautiful blessings for this month of October. You take care. Bye-bye.